Coaches side, Henderson legend,
It's hard to see that.
former coach of the Colonels, Harris Agiswal. And on the far side of the flags, former Colonel soccer player and Henderson County teacher and coach, Connor Mattingly.
Here we go. We got the wind. The wind and the rain is picking up here at Colonel Field, moving from west to east. Both teams. We'll see how this impacts the game. And, sometimes this can be the great neutralizer. And the kickoff's in. One thing to note here is North Middle School gets Lincoln Black. He's back from concussion protocol for the first time. We have North Middle School in their maroons moving from left to right on your screen, and the Holy Name Cardinals moving from right to left in their green and black. And Holy Name forced into an early save. You can already see North Middle School trying to come out early, trying to really put that pressure on early in the game. I mean, that's a pretty important thing, don't you think, Coach?
Absolutely. Obviously, getting on the front foot early in games is going to be huge. And, after the long delay we had, being the first team to take the initiative is going to be really important here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was here we go. We got Holy Name trying to put some pressure in. Oh, what a save by the keeper. You can already see both teams a little shaky, but both teams very aggressive on play. It'll be interesting to see what Lincoln Black does. He's been gone for a couple weeks now, and he's a player that North likes to play through. It's going to be interesting to see what it looks like.
Yeah, the best thing so far is both teams seem to be going for it. 2 chances in the first minute and a half, and honestly, 2 really good saves from the goalkeeper. So, again, as we start looking at some of the top players on display here for Coach Pryor, it's awesome to see that, again, we were talking about high-level goalkeepers that have come through. There's 2 good saves already to start the game. And, again, just lots of rain coming down, and definitely we're happy to be inside for this one. But definitely a great environment to be playing here in a championship game.
Absolutely. Like, as coaches, typically we're on the sidelines. We're the ones getting soaked. It's nice. It's really, really nice to be out up in the dry section right now. And we see North putting pressure on. There's Beckham Womack. What you have is the difference between 2 teams, and how's it going to play out over time. You have more experience and age from the North team. You have more age and experience in the North team, but you have a lot of really good young talent in the Holy Name team. So how's this going to play out? Ball shifts wide.
Coach Pryor, do you know what the score was earlier in the game for these 2 teams?
I'm pretty sure that North won both meetings between these 2 teams. But I think the first one was a little one-sided, and the second one was a lot closer. And there we go, right again. Like you can see, both teams really trying to push the tempo, and North gets another shot on goal. Yeah. Again, you can really see that that Holy Name has some really fantastic. They have some really good, talented players. They just might be a little undersized, and we're going to see how that plays out as the game progresses. Yeah, last heard, Davis County leads the Henderson County Colonels 14-9 in the football game. I'm sure at this point they're getting a little bit of rain in their game as well, as it continues to pour here at Colonel Field. You can hear the coaches like they want their team to be aggressive. Miles Pryor on the ball, looks to go early and turns it over. Had a ton of space there. You'd like to see a player take a little more space.
That sounds familiar. Do you know that kid at all? It seems familiar.
I do. So if you're watching the game and you're thinking that maybe coach is being a little bit harder on one player than anybody else, that's Miles Pryor for the North Cadets is my son. So I tend to be a little more overly critical, fair or not, right? But the rain comes down. You're starting to see a little bit of teams both. They're starting to settle in a little bit. Jack Monroe with a fantastic play, and Holy Name does well just to knock it out. Like at the high school level, we have a guy who can throw it into the middle of the field. At the middle school level, you don't have that guy. Miles Google lets it go. It's a goal. It's a goal early for Miles Google. Miles Google puts the North Cadets up early, 1-0. Off the bottom of the crossbar and kicks in.
Yeah, great finish. Obviously, this early in the game, goals settle the game really down quite a bit. Obviously, if you're the team in control now at this point, getting the first goal, kind of take a deep breath and you can relax and just get back to your game plan. Goals change games a lot of times in these kind of situations, especially in championship environments. Now there's more pressure on for Holy Name to get back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that really allows the other team to get it allows North almost to be a little more aggressive than they already were. Trying to push that tempo. You can see that battle on the left-hand side with Lincoln Black. And, again, you can already start to see a little bit of the shape. North, respecting Holy Name's ability to get forward, is holding 4 backs or holding 3 backs on 1 defender. This is where, like on the NFHS, it would be a whole lot easier if somebody was wearing white so we could differentiate, even if it was just a majority of a white uniform. But this is it's tough to see, especially through the rain-soaked windows we have over here. Holy Name able to defend. You gotta, when it's wet, there's nothing wrong with taking some chances. You never know. Like Coach Dempsey here was a goalkeeper extraordinaire for many years. Played semi-professional soccer out of Louisville and at soccer at University of Evansville and University of Southern Indiana. And he'll tell you right now, like rain games aren't always the favorite for keepers.
No, and obviously, like a lot of the reaction time slows down quite a bit. You're expecting a ball to, take a little bit longer to get to you, and all of a sudden it skips off the surface and it's in the back of the net before you can react to it. So, we always try to encourage our kids, especially in these kind of moments, if you're taking a shot, make sure it's low and hard so that way it skips off the surface and gives something difficult for the keeper to deal with. But then also if you're playing a through ball, it needs to be a little bit more angled now at this point because obviously you'll have to make sure if it's going to slide straight through, it's going to go right to the keeper's hands. So playing a more angled ball for a pass through. But from a goalkeeper standpoint, it's tough to get your feet. We always encourage our goalkeepers to get your feet set. So when it's wet and you're moving side to side, it's tough to cut back to get set to save lots of shots. So, yeah, definitely not a goalkeeper's friend. The surface obviously is a little bit slick, but again, I think both keepers have done well. And the shots they've saved so far have been, waist and above, which is, if you're a goalkeeper, those are the saves you want to make all day. So look for, as the half wears on, more lower shots, and hopefully that's something that both coaches encourage at halftime to make sure they get more of.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a coach right now, I'm saying every time you got a chance, if you see the white of the line, take that shot. Like you just want that keeper to have to work because you never know. It skips different, it plays different on that wet field. Sometimes as a team maybe is undermatched, you might think, all right, well the rain can be a great neutralizer, but if you struggle to get the ball forward, it doesn't matter if you struggle to get the ball forward. We see a good battle on that far side of the field between Miles Pryor and looks like Alex Boley.
You see tactically very similar to the girls' game as well, where I think it's whoever gets control of the midfield is going to win the game. There's a lot of numbers on both ends, offensively and defensively, but not a whole lot in the middle. So, again, look for teams to be able to switch the ball, use the flanks, the wide areas a little bit more, and have a little bit of success that way as well.
Yeah, and about the speed of play and the speed of the ball, like if you've ever watched a professional game, they water the field before each half. It's to make the grass wet. It's to make the ball move quicker. And that's kind of what these guys are experiencing. And to be honest with you, there hasn't been a whole lot of rain games this year. Like I remember at the high school level, we played Webster County in the district final, and I think that was the first rain game we played in all year long. And there was a moment of us finding the speed of the ball.
Yeah, so we actually used the rain to our advantage. Probably my first ever trip to Elite Eight. We had Murray High School here. I think that was 2015. It was about 7 years ago now at this point. Crazy how time flies. But, we had Murray High here in the, round of 16, the first round of the state tournament. And it poured the night before. And then by the time they got up here, it poured the entire game. And it's very much like a cartoon situation where they'd start dribbling, there'd be a puddle, it'd get stuck there. And that was a year that, I felt like Murray had, lots of Division I talent. They had a lot of kids that went on to play after high school. And we definitely were probably a little bit overmatched, but we got our one opportunity to score. We did, and then the weather kind of neutralized their speed up front, which gave us a lot of success.
All right, we're at halftime of the Colonels versus the Davis County Panthers football game. Davis County leads the Colonels 14-9 at halftime. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Shane Bogus State Farm Insurance and Ryan Monroe of Edward Jones, for putting this on. Like, here we are in the middle of the rain, and we're shooting this game, and all you folks at home able to watch this thing nice and dry. Not like the players and the coaches and the referees and our fans in the stands. So we definitely want to send a huge thank you out to those businesses here in town for making sure our players get seen. Yeah, I remember that Murray game well. I was in the corner down here watching, and I'll tell you right now, Coach Dempsey, I've been around for 20 years. This is my 20th season of Henderson County soccer. And I will tell you to this day, I don't know if I've seen a bigger save than Ashley Wilson's in the final seconds. I mean, she made a save that I don't think she could make. And I don't think half the guys I've ever coached can make. And she put a hand on that ball and put it out of play. And it was really, it was one of those moments as a coach just watching the game. It doesn't matter who's making that save. I'm out of my chair. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's the game right there. She saved the game really with one save.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things, where somebody's stuck under a car, you all of a sudden get human strength or superhuman strength and can pull the car off somebody, just those out of body moments. And she had one of those, and I've joked with her since then. I'm not sure she's ever been able to jump that high, and she made a great save on that one moment. And again, it got us to the Elite Eight. So those are some moments through our coaching career that we look back on with some fondness, and some really good moments here on Colonel Field.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of those. Here we go. I thought I heard a whistle there. Something's going on because everybody stopped play for a second. Maybe somebody's got a whistle on the sideline and try to throw play off. But
I heard one of the vuvuzelas earlier from the South African World Cup. It's really exciting things. I thought those got banned around the world, but here we are, and those are really good sounds. You just get thousands of them. It sounds like a swarming bees and things like that.
But yeah, credit to Holy Name. They're really hanging in. They gave up that early goal, and they are continuing to battle. And sometimes when you have that young team, like it's almost, and Coach Dempsey's seen it before as a coach, and I know we have coaches up here as well, like regardless of what sport you play, sometimes when you got a young team, the concern is when we give up that early goal, is the game already over? And you can see Holy Name battling. So hats off to the Cardinals and their coaching staff for building in that stay the course. It's a long game. You never know what can happen.
So, Coach, if you were tactically trying to set up against, looks like for North there's a lot of speed on the outside. I know we've hit on a couple of their kids so far, but what do you think would be one of the game plans if you were trying to stop somebody on the outside, such as Lincoln Black out there on the far side that's caused Holy Name some problems? What would you do to stop him or someone that's very, very fast that's going to cause some problems throughout the game? What are some things you could do to stop some of their runs?
First off, what I would do is if I was going to stop a player who is really strong on the outside like Lincoln Black, I'd make sure my outside back stayed tucked in. I want him to be connected to the back line. I want him to make sure the only thing that player has is wide area. I don't ever want to give him the inside where he has the goal, because the goal is central. And if we keep him outside, then at least I keep him in the least dangerous part of the field. Second thing I'm looking at is if I can, as the ball's shifting, let's make sure that other center back gets connected to that outside back to really defend in a pair, because he's fast enough to beat one guy, but if I drop off and I give him a little bit of support, is he fast enough to beat two guys? He may not. And I'll give up a throw-in, especially at a middle school game. I'm going to give up a throw-in because, as I said earlier, they have nobody who's throwing the ball in the middle of the field. It's not like they have Trevor Book, who's a high school senior, who can throw the ball, halfway across the field. He takes a throw-in. He can throw it 35 yards, And we utilized that last night in our region championship game several times. We were able to score some goals. And you can hear right now, if you were where we're at, you can hear these two coaches. They are communicating. They want their teams, you can hear Holy Name trying to get their guys back. They want to get those guys back in play. Looks like maybe North saw a little something different. They put a player out left and brought Miles Pryor into the middle of the field. And it's maybe like one of those things, maybe they see something where they think they could take advantage of a central player with one of their stronger guys. Once again, we have a first half. We're over halfway through the first half, and I can't really recall too many fouls. Both teams playing pretty strong, clean soccer, keeping the ball in play for the most part. As I say that, the ball goes out of bounds. But for the most part, the ball's staying within the boundaries here.
Yeah, and I know just kind of piggyback on it, North's had a lot of the ball so far, but not really created a whole lot of clear-cut moments. The goalkeeper made a save in the first minute. Obviously, the goal was scored. But since then, there's not really been a clear shot or clear cross. So it's been a lot of possession from North, but not a whole lot of end product so far. So, again, if you're Holy Name, kind of take away the middle of the field, make them play in those wide areas, as Coach Pryor was saying. Give them those wide areas, and then when it gets played in the middle, obviously that's what you want.
So we got a foul deep in the corner. One thing we definitely want to bring up is that there's, the Lightning seems to have cleared, which means the game's on. That's the way we play our game. That's the way outdoor sports are played in Kentucky. Not just in Kentucky, but I will say Kentucky is like a leader. Here we go. We got a break. I'm going to take a pause for a second and catch this. We got a corner kick for the Cardinals. But in Kentucky, we are a leader across America with the KHSAA for a lot of our things. And, one of the first things we did was we implemented, some of the things we've done is implemented, the Lightning stuff and some of the heat index rules and a lot of the concussion protocols and even some of the COVID rules. In Kentucky, we were one of the first ones. And yep. North does just enough to avoid a bad moment there. Holy Name does well, though.
And I think this is kind of what we noticed in the first game as well. The Holy Name girls in the first game had most of the ball, scored the first goal, and then the one opportunity that South had to really get in the game, they had numbers forward in the box, just never pulled the trigger to get that shot off. You could see that there from the boys with Holy Name. They gave up the first goal, and then they got all the numbers forward in the box as a shot comes in. But prior to that, obviously having a lot of numbers forward, just never really got a shot out of it. And that's something, again, we were talking about earlier with the weather, you just got to test the goalkeepers, make sure that they're making saves, forcing them to get down left and right to see those things. And now we have an injury on the field.
You have to wonder a little bit if that injury isn't from some of the let's get warmed up, let's be ready to play, and then let's take a almost 45-minute break, and then jump back out, and we got to get it going. But that's the nature of school sports. Right here, you'd like to see North's goalkeeper be a little more aggressive and maybe come get some of this stuff. I think he stands on that line and protects his goal a little too much. Center striker from North definitely has to try to get more involved. He's kind of isolated in the middle of like 5 guys. He has to he's going to have to get off them, whether it means run wide, right or left, whether it means check back, or even just run up the field and be off sides. Make somebody move. You can't just stand there and let them be who they are. Well, great defending by 24 because that ball gets through. North's in on goal. And there's no foul there. No foul. And looks like North maybe dodged a bullet on that one. I think maybe the official don't want to call anybody out. Maybe the official didn't see it from the position he was in. But from our angle, it definitely looked like North maybe caught a good break. They had a goal scoring chance, and it definitely looks like from where I'm standing that Holy Name had a chance to score a goal right there. So, North needs to tighten that up. Right now they're kind of playing a little loose, a little frivolous. They need to get things back under control.
And that's kind of what we talked about in the first game too. The longer you let teams hang around and it stays a 1-0 game, the more likely it is that Holy Name builds a little bit of momentum, and then all of a sudden it takes one missed clearance, or like we saw right here, where it leads to a breakaway or a chance in the box. And the more opportunities you do to get to dump the ball in the box, you have to take them. And again, just that final pass, that final shot needs to just be a little bit better from Holy Name here. But they've had a little bit of success here in the last couple minutes.
Yeah. Holy Name's getting back in this game right now. You can see Holy Name's confidence growing with every pass, with every stop on defense. Again, right now you got 24 up top from North. He's really not doing a whole lot, and they're able to settle in. He's got to work a little bit harder. Looks like North earns a corner kick, and Miles Pryor is going to take the corner. We'll see if the width of the field affects his ability to play a ball. He typically on the middle school size field plays a pretty good ball. We'll see if he can whip it in there the same way he always does. And it's a little deep. And you hear, there's a little bit of from the refs and from the coaches, rather, from Holy Name. They wanted that foul. Of course they do. They don't want that to be a turnover right there. And it definitely was a foul. Good little bit of combination play right there from North. Player on sides. Look at Jack Monroe. He's able to make something happen. We got North with a throw-in deep in the half of the Cardinals.
So we're about 5 minutes to go here before halftime. You can see the rain is starting to pick back up. It died off for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you see people scrambling for umbrellas and making some dashes into cars as well. But been impressed the last couple minutes here as Holy Name is starting to grow back into the game, and it just takes one ball over the top that again slides on this wet grass. If you can find that backside, I think it should be onside to look for a good shot and a save there from the North goalkeeper. So again, Holy Name's had a couple really good chances here.
This past spring, I had the pleasure of coaching some of these kids in travel outside of the high school, right? So I was able to see some of these boys, and I'll tell you what, one thing I've noticed is these middle school coaches have done a really good job. Like, I didn't know how we would look when we had to go from 9v9 to 11v11, but I've seen a real improvement in a lot of these players from 9v9 to 11v11. And I'm telling you what, this rain is coming down right now. It's really getting after it out here at Colonel Field. And you never know. And what it looks like, our local weatherman, Kevin Steele, just said it looks like this might be the last round. We might get some sprinkles on the back end, but for the most part, the heavy rain seems to be gone. And, can the North Cadets pin them in deep? And they do. They get a throw in deep in the opponent's field. And one thing that I brought up with one of the games I was calling for the girls was sometimes throw-ins aren't always the best thing because about 80% of throw-ins are turnovers because most people don't know how to throw the ball or aren't comfortable trapping the ball with somebody on their back.
And it's the most frustrating thing as a coach because obviously you get a little bit of possession, you want to get up the field a little bit, and it's either sometimes there's a foul throw. We had a couple of those this week, and leads to turnovers in big games. You know, it's just a lack of concentration, and then really, obviously, like you said, sometimes people run away from the thrower too quickly. Sometimes you want them to check away and then come back to the ball and give it. A lot of times you can give it right back to the thrower. That player is usually the extra one that you can keep the ball, find possession, and get it going again. So we're about 3 minutes left here. Again, Holy Name back in possession here, going right to left, North in the ball here, going left to right.
Yeah, and you see Zane able to make a good pass up the line there. Keep it in play. That's a fantastic opportunity. North does a good job to snuff it out and earn themselves a throw-in on the near side. As we talk about, like we talked about with the girls earlier, we look out across the field with some of the boys, just identifying just some players out there that are Henderson soccer like legacy, if you will, right? I don't want to call them legacy, but I mean they are, right? So you see Beckham Womack for the Holy Name Cardinals. His dad is Dax Womack, who his sister is also Bailey Womack, who played for the girls team earlier. And then also out there right now, we see a few other players. Miles Pryor, who was out there earlier. His older brother is Elliot Pryor, who's a freshman for the varsity team, who just won the region championship this year. We see Zane Hazelwood. We see Zane Hazelwood, who his brother, Warren Hazelwood, played for the varsity team last year and won a region championship for the varsity team last year. We see Asher Daly out there, number 12, and his brother is Hunter, who also played for the Colonels as well. So there's a lot of kids out here who their older brothers played, and they're trying to, like right now, as speaking from experience, right now Miles wants to win this game And no offense to his older brother Elliott, Miles wants to win this game because Elliott never did. True story.
Sometimes the truth hurts, Coach.
True story.
That's okay. That's what little brothers are for. You know, trying to one up the older brother is a great moment. Yep. My brother always wanted to be. No, just kidding. My brother had a pretty okay career at Harrison as well. So he now referees and enjoys it. So we're both still heavily involved in the game, and don't quite get to see him on the Kentucky side, but he does a lot of Indiana games as well. So.
Looks like we got a corner kick deep for the Colonels. Colonels. It's just something I'm used to saying, right? Look,
Everybody looks good
from the Cadets. Everybody looks good maroon. I hear what you're saying. Oh, great bit of defending from the Cardinals. And there it is, halftime. We go into halftime with the North Cadets leading the Holy Name Cardinals 1-0 with an onslaught right there at the very end from the North Cadets to try to get an extra one in. We definitely want to bring up that the next live stream is this upcoming Tuesday as the Henderson County Lady Colonels volleyball team plays their district championship. Make sure you tune in live, watch all that, see Coach Wilson and the players and the girls go after that and push themselves as far as they can. We want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Shane Baga State Farm and Ryan Monroe of Edward Jones for, once again, putting this on. I'm telling you what, these two gentlemen are out in the rain. They are braving the elements to support our local sports teams.
Yeah, so Coach Pryor, what do you think are the keys to the second half if you are Holy Name to get back into the game?
If I'm Holy Name's coach right now, I like where we've been. I think they've had enough good opportunities. I might try to open up a little bit more. They're only attacking with like one or two. I might try to throw one more forward and just see if we can create try to unbalance them a little bit and create some problems. It's wet. You got to also say, don't be afraid to shoot. You know, you're not going to score if you don't shoot. Like literally right now, as I'm looking, I had 2 rosters blow across the desk. This rain is coming in sideways, folks, and they're going to have the wind at their back for the second half. And I think if you take a shot, it just carries enough, kind of similar to what happened last year in the region, not the region championship, but the city championship. You had Cameron Vick took a shot. It had enough wind behind it to carry over top the keeper. And you never know what's going to happen. So don't be bashful. Like Michael Scott says, like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, and last night, that's one of our goals in the region tournament was to make sure we got a lot of shots off against the Madison goalkeeper. And, eventually some of those shots just end up paying off. So overall, great night. It's crazy coming off 2 region championship evenings. We had 10 goals scored between both girls' teams yesterday. I think there were 9 goals scored yesterday in the boys' side of it in the final. So lots of fireworks in the high school level last night. So we've got 2 1-0 games so far in the middle school games. So hoping for maybe some goals to light up the scoreboard here in the second half.
Yeah, on the other side, what we were talking about, like if that's what I'm doing, if I'm Holy Name, like you got to be aggressive. You're down a goal. Like and as I said earlier, you don't want to get down 2-0 early, but maybe one more player makes a difference up top. If I'm North, you've had most of the ball. I might try to get forward. I might try to push one more player forward and make this a 2-0 game and say, if we go up 2-0, I don't think they can score 3, right? I don't think they can score 3. So I'm and here a second ago, like literally, I'm looking at Coach Steele and the other esteemed gentleman up here with us, and the rain seemed to die for a second, and it's back, and we continue to get dumped on here. And again, hats off to our maintenance crew here at Henderson County High School, because this field looks like nobody's been on it. And that's a true testament to how hard these guys and how hard everybody here works to make sure that we get to play on some of the best facilities in Henderson. And I know Coach Dempsey, I'm sure he's been there before. When people come to Henderson, they are always amazed at how good our facility is.
Yeah, and I have a story too. John Douglas used to tell me there was a team from, I think maybe Highlands or way eastern Kentucky that came to play us in football one year, years ago, and they, I guess, walked on our football field. And he said, we looked out there, and a lot of their coaches were taking some grass and, like, looking at it, and they had their shoes off, just kind of walking in it, and they were just so impressed with the facilities here and the upkeep of the fields and all that kind of stuff. So, I know coming from a college program at USI, we loved our facilities, but even our practice facilities here at Henderson, we've got 2 good practice fields that we can use. One of them's Bermuda. Obviously, down the road, we'd like to get a second one as Bermuda, but having those 2 options, for practice allows for the boys and girls both to practice. We're hoping that, those things are still there, but again, having those facilities are really even ahead of, I think, some college facilities. So I know that over the next couple of years, we're hoping to get some upgrades, just because, I think it's one of those things that each year you want to keep improving to keep up with other schools around the state, to make sure that our kids are, getting some good treatment and making sure that we have some things to keep up with the Joneses, if you will.
Yeah, so real quick, I want to drop in that the Henderson County Colonels football team has taken a 17-14 lead over the Davis County Panthers here in the second half. But as Coach Dempsey was just saying, facility-wise, like, I remember we've had several teams come in, and we have college coaches who come in and do camps for us every year. And when they show up, they look at our facilities, and they're like, and they always say, like, this is amazing. Like, most colleges don't have facilities as good as our high school has. And what we'd like to see is, in the future, we have a game field that's great. Bermuda, they do a fantastic job with it. We have a practice field that's maybe the best practice field in the state. I guarantee I throw it out there. We have a second practice field that's just regular Kentucky bluegrass. But all we need is that become Bermuda too, and we have 3 quality game fields where we could host some real huge tournaments and bring some money, not just into our school, but also bring money into our community. So maybe in the future that'd be something we'd like to see happen. Also with facilities, we have a great tailgating section right here in the far right-hand corner. Maybe with the camera you can't see it. We have a great tailgating section right now. In the next couple of years, that's not going to exist, because we're going to have a locker room right there. Isn't that right, Coach Dempsey?
That's the rumor on the street.
Yeah, room on the street. We're going to have a little bit of a locker room right there where our players, when lightning happens like we had tonight, we're not going to say go get in your cars anymore. We're going to say we're going to go into the locker room and let's sit down at everybody has their own spot, and take your cleats off and put your stuff away for a minute.
We're going to turn on Thursday Night Football and watch the Colts beat up on somebody while we're in a rain delay. So
yeah, exactly.
Some great opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Or we turn the TV off and we listen to the Colonels on Friday night take Davis County into a second half victory right now. Right now they're leading. So let's hope let's keep that Colonel thing going on. Charge on, right?
Yeah, and I think, again, not to keep beat a dead horse here, but, the athletic programs here in Henderson have done a great job, especially for the fall. I know Coach Boston has worked extremely hard with his staff, and, it's been a lot on the coaches and support staff to kind of get kids in opportunities to play this year. And, I feel like right now we're in a good spot as a department. And, the football team is trending, I think, in the right direction. I think the volleyball team is. Soccer teams are doing well. So we're really excited to see with basketball kicking off today with Coach Smithart and Coach Hale coming back again this year, just to see what they have in store for us. So it's a good year so far to be a Henderson County fan.
Absolutely. I know in the last 24 hours, a lot of people have given me a lot of congratulations on number 200, right? But then you bring up Coach Hale, and I'm like, hold on a second. Yeah, I was like, win number 2,053, right? So, we're working on it. But, Coach Dempsey, obviously, he's been killing it on the ladies' side. I have to make sure that I keep winning so he doesn't take me up, right? But here we go. We got second half kickoff coming in now we have the Holy Name Cardinals moving from left to right on your screen with the North Cadets moving from right to left. See a few players out there with a little bit of pink armband, maybe representing some family they have that from Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. Immediately, you see North wanting to put the ball wide, and then you see a rookie move there. You see a very rookie move by Connor Mattingly to lose his flag on that throw-in. It's wet. We'll just say that, right?
Yep, it's a good example again.
When you coach indoors like basketball, you're not used to the elements.
Yeah, acclimatized. Yeah.
Early in the game, you see North trying to put the pressure up, but also at the same time, they're keeping numbers back. You got to think 3-on-1 is a good number. But here comes Holy Name. Alex Boley, he's a talented player. He's one that we're definitely on the boys' side we're keeping eyes on. Like, we're looking forward to him in the next year or two, next season. He leaves we have a handball right there on Miles Google. But, yeah, there's several players from Holy Name. There are our local private school. Technically, they're a feeder school to Owensboro Catholic. But they are players on their team that we prioritize and that we want to bring them. We want all of them to want to come to Henderson and play soccer, not just on the boys' side, but definitely on the girls' side too. We don't want them transferring away and moving away to the other school, because here in Henderson we offer just as much opportunity as everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, not being from this community and seeing the things that are on display at the high school level with classes, AP level, dual credit, all those types of things, I think we offer a lot of really good things. Good free kick coming here. Looks like Miles Pryor is going to step up for this free kick, see what he's going to do with it. So Miles Pryor here stepping up. Didn't get a lot of him in the first half, so we'll see what he can do here on the free kick, trying to keep it low. And keeper saves it. So, again, I think some of those you just drive it low and hard and see if it'll skip off or hit off a player and end up in the back of the net there. Went for a little bit of placement over power there.
Yeah. And the keeper does a good job to cover that up. He had the near post covered up. You'd maybe like to see the free kick taker there, put the ball at the back post, make the keeper work a little bit. 21-17, Davis County retakes the lead, 21-17 over the Henderson County Colonels. Colonels battling as the rain continues to pour here in Henderson County. Good bit of ball movement. Yeah, sorry, a little bit of silence there as I was trying to figure out what was going on the field.
Yeah, so it looks like they're, North's trying to switch the ball. It's just so narrow. I feel like both the girls and boys games tonight, you could probably cut off 10 yards on each side of the field, and it probably didn't even get run on tonight. So look for more space out wide here in the second half. I think that's going to be one of those areas. If one of the teams can exploit it, there's just not a whole lot of width. There's a lot of narrow players that are trying to go find the ball, but they got to get out wide at times as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not used to the space. They're just really not used to the amount of space they have out here on this much, much larger field. Here's free kick. This could be dangerous from this far away. And the counter's on. Yeah, absolutely. Counter's on. And Turnover. We'll see what North can do with it. North able to continue to battle for the ball a little bit. And it looks like it's a Holy Name throw-in on the opposite side. But, yeah, the size of the field really makes a big difference. When they're used to being in one spot and then they realize, hey, I had like 10 more yards I could have been in. And this is where, as players, as we have high school players up here in the booth right now with us, they come to us. That's something we got to teach, is spacing. That's something we got to teach, is spacing and how much room you actually have on the field. We had this literal conversation last night at the Stadium of Champions. Their fields aren't as wide as ours are, and we had to talk about being wide enough, because if you don't, then the other team has the advantage. Yep. Lincoln Black looks like he's after being gone for a little bit, just trying to make a little too much happen. He needs to trust getting rid of the ball and getting it back. Miles Pryor on the ball. He's going to try to keep it. You'd like to see a little bit more from Shoemaker there to keep a hold of that ball. And Zane Hazelwood, he continues to be a thorn in the side of the North Cadets. Miles Pryor is going to get on this ball on the near side here. He's going to look to attack. He's going to cut in. Let's see what he does with it. It's worth a hit. In the rain, it's worth a hit because, as we were talking about earlier, that skip, it hits the ground different, and it comes off the grass different, right, Coach?
Absolutely. You just never know. Low and hard, low and hard, low and hard.
I mean, I've seen, you watch enough professional games, you'll see it like it'll hit the ground, and you'll almost say that the ground assisted the goal scorer because the keeper's expecting it at one spot and it bounces off the ground a little different than what they're expecting. So, yeah, that's sometimes that happens. And right now, Coach Dempsey and I, we're looking at the formation a little bit from the cadets. It looks like maybe they're playing a wing-back system with 3 in the back, and they keep one real deep just in case something gets behind, which is not a bad idea. You don't want to get beat on a through ball at this point. But you also got to make sure those outside wing-backs get back, or what's the point of doing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. North looks to be on the counter here. If he can get onto the ball here.
Right there you see the immediate speed of Lincoln Black. And he puts a great ball in. Oh, you just got to put something on that ball to get in the back of the net, right? Anything.
Yeah, anything there. The second that ball's in the air, I just thought it was just going to take a touch. And honestly, one of the defender, attacker, anybody, just somebody get something on the ball at that point. Obviously, like as a coach, really hate for any of those balls to get all the way through. So whether the goalkeeper grabs it, defender heads it out, or attacker heads it in. Obviously, if you're the attacking side of it, you want them to head it in, but otherwise, somebody's got to get something on it.
Yeah, I mean, we even at the high school level, we preach. If it hits you in the nose and goes in the goal, it's still a goal. Yep. Even if it makes your nose bleed, it's still a goal. Your nose will stop bleeding. Yeah, scoring a game-winning goal, that lasts forever.
Well, and especially in these kind of games right here where, last game of the season, championship-type game, it's definitely what you want to see.
You see that wet ball is causing problems for the keeper from North. He had a couple opportunities to get a clean collection, and I think the wet ball and a little bit of the spin made some problems for him. North puts the pressure on early again. So, here we go. Back again. This is kind of coming back and forth affair. If you look at the field right now, here we go. Holy Name's in. North gives up a corner kick. Right now, if you really look at the game, it's becoming a backline versus backline game. There's no midfield existence from either team right now. So if somebody would take control of the midfield, they could control the game.
Yeah, I really feel like it reminds me a lot of an adult rec league game where no one really wants to do the running side of it in terms of the midfielders, because those are usually the ones that do the most running back and forth constantly. So yeah, it seems like there's kind of camped out on each end, just waiting for the ball to get to you, and there's just a couple players in between that are bumping it on. So again, there's going to be a lot of chances still on both ends. So we got about 20 minutes to go here. Really, anybody's game still in a 1-0 game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of like, I don't want to do the extra running, but also it goes back to what we talked about earlier. The difference between boys and girls soccer is like, you can see right now across the field, there's a general lack of technical ability, but a reliance on athletic ability. And that's where, like, when you get to the high school, we try to coach up the technical ability, and I'd much rather them have that before they come to me, right? With you, right, Coach? Like, I would much rather have a player who knows how to control the ball first. Okay?
Then you catch the speed of players as they go.
Yeah. Davis County goes up 24-17 on the Colonels right now. That's a ball that's in trouble. And hats off to the Holy Name keeper. Like, you know what? Like, you got to make a corner kick on me. And especially at a middle school level. That's a big deal, like we saw with the girls' game.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, it's kind of, Holy Name's kind of baiting them in a little bit. North's getting a little bit higher up the field. If they can find one pass through, there's a lot of space in behind North's back line here. So we'll see what kind of service this is. The last one is a little bit pulled out, as Coach said earlier. So see if he can. That's a better ball in. See if I get a shot on goal. See if we got lots of excitement there.
Good, and that was a decent. The counter's on for Holy Name right now, but that was decent from Holy Name even to get a couple shots off. Holy Name keeper does a good job to keep the ball out of the back of the net. But right now, with 18 minutes to go, North still leading. Holy Name 1-0. We see some substitutions here. Maybe the coach is trying to get some fresh legs in, or maybe give some guys who need a little bit of a break, a little bit of, just a drink of water. That's something we've had in the at the varsity level. We've had to have that conversation multiple times, that we're at that point where, like, I know you've been used to playing 10 minutes, but you may only play 2 now, because I just need you to go in long enough to give somebody a breather. Looks like we got maybe somebody with an injury or maybe bleeding a little bit. So, yeah, at the high school level, like, we have my own son who's playing for the high school team this year. Elliot, he's in every game, he's probably played 10 minutes a half. And in the car, he's had the luxury of having Dad in the car on the way home from stuff. And I tell him, like, hey, buddy, like, when we start making these postseason substitutions, you might play 2 minutes a half. Good bit of defending there. Miles Pryor with a one-timer. Probably had a little more time to figure out what to do with that ball. But you got to appreciate the like I said, Michael Scott says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
It's always great when we can plug them in as well. So, again, lots of chances at both ends. You definitely could see this game still going either way. There's one slip of the ball, one misclearance, one mistake, I think can still lead to a goal, lead to a moment that might kind of get Holy Name back into the game. Or if it's North, I think a second goal really seals this one here in the last 16 minutes or so.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Holy Name's on the attack. Oh, looks like it'd be a throw-in on the far side for North, going right to left still.
Still getting a ton of rain here. Still getting a lot of rain on the field. And once again, like, look at our maintenance crew. Like, you wouldn't even know it if you looked out there that there had been 2 soccer games on this field today. So hats off to those guys for doing that. Definitely want to thank again our sponsors, Shane Boga State Farm and Ryan Monroe of Edward Jones for putting this on. And make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in next Tuesday as Lady Colonels volleyball team is here live on the WSON YouTube channel.
Coach Robinson.
Yeah, Coach Robinson, man. I'll tell you what, well, there's a lot of talk about Coach Hale. There's a lot of talk about Coach Dempsey and the success. But Coach Robinson, she puts it out there too. Like, she definitely she produces winners.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is her 6th, maybe 7th year, and I think she's won the region championship all but one of her years. So, again, always has them towards the top of the region, always competing, and that's something, again, that's a really high standard, I think, for our athletic department as a whole.
There you see right there with Jackson Maddox, the keeper from Holy Name. He's more of a field player than he is a keeper. He's just kind of, he's doing what he needs to do for his team to win. But the goalkeeper from Holy Name comes out and cleans that mess up where, you can see on the other side sometimes the keeper wants to stand on his line. He's willing to come out and clear a ball out because if it was the other way, I think that might be a goal-scoring opportunity. Yeah, here we go. Holy Name. Holy Name come forward. Beckham Womack with a great dish. Great save from the keeper.
Yeah, no, it's a low-driven ball, and again, that's what we've been asking for, right? Like, lots of shots on the keeper, low and hard, make them make saves. The keeper is up to the task on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Aiden Bugg is a player for the North Cadets who's come along over the last 3 years. He's really grown into the keeper role, and it's hard to deal with. I can relate. He's a visually impaired human being. He's dependent on his glasses. He doesn't like wearing contacts, and he's having to deal with all this in the rain. So if he has his glasses on or not, I can't really tell from this far away. It looks like he might have them on. I can't imagine trying to play whenever I'm looking through this glass up in front of me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's, there's a lot of those ins and outs of the games that people are playing through tonight. That's good. So, again, I think the next goal is going to be.
I think it is.
I think it is. I think there's going to be one more in this game still.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I think there's one more goal in this game.
A goal kick coming out.
Yeah. Goal kick coming out. So we still look at these goals every once in a while. Coach Steele demanded that we have black nets, so I bought black nets to go with these white goals, and it's really sometimes it's hard to see. It's a really cool look because you don't know the goal's in or the ball's in until the net stops it, especially in the dark.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's very unique. It's probably the only place I've ever seen that actually has black nets, and it's really cool. It's kind of a feature and a facility upgrade for us, having the new goals and obviously having them installed this past year, and they're looking nice. I mean, the new lights came in 2 years ago. We've got new goals last year, and so again, some major upgrades for the game field.
Absolutely, and again, that goes back to when people come to Henderson, they see our facilities, and a lot of teams are jealous. Like, I've had college coaches come to Henderson and say, like, I've had colleges want to play on our game field in the spring because it's better than what they have at their own facility, and wanting to bring stuff here. And even there's their own goal, an in-swinger from Miles Pryor causes problems for the keeper.
Was that Miles?
Yeah. An in-swinger.
That North Middle School goal, Miles Pryor.
Yeah, an in-swinger on the corner kick causes a problem for a field player who's not really a goalie. He's done a fantastic job. It's not his fault with the rain and the movement of the ball. So can North keep the ball enough to not let Holy Name get the equalizer, or even get one back?
Yeah, and you hate to say it, obviously, like these kind of big games, as much as we want, the final goal to be an amazing shot. Sometimes it just comes down to execution and just a small mistake there that leads to the goal going in the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why as coaches we say put the ball in the mixer. You never know what could happen, especially on a wet night. And obviously having some bias there. That's my kid that scored, that put that ball in. But, I mean, anybody could have hit that ball, and as a coach, you're happy, right? I mean, you got to be happy that it happened. And since he's gotten the ball, you see a little bit of confidence in his play. He's making some stuff happen. That little bit of pickup right there, like he's won several balls in a row. So sometimes with a team, that's all it takes. But I agree with you, Coach. Like, with 10.5 to go, that's going to be that's a tall order for the Cardinals right now.
Yeah, and that the save that the North Middle School keeper made probably 5 minutes ago probably is going to be the difference in the game now, right? Obviously, it's a great shot from Holy Name. If it goes in, it's a 1-1 game. It's a whole different atmosphere. Now it's 2-0. It changes everything again.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's that thing like where as a fan maybe you forget about what happened 15 minutes ago. That was a huge save. Because if it's 1-1, you got to think Holy Name has the momentum. And with that save, it actually gave North momentum with one save. And sometimes, like with like a keeper, like people are like, he stands back there, but sometimes their play can be the biggest momentum swing of anybody. You see that with penalty kicks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the joy in the life of a goalkeeper is you stand down there for a 60-minute game in middle school, 80 minutes in high school, and you probably touch the ball 5 times total. If you make a couple of those saves and keeps your team in the game, obviously you can be the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just gets like you watch a professional game, and a keeper makes a save on a penalty kick, and the whole team just instantly has more energy than they had before that penalty kick. North has to be really careful right here. You don't want to give up a penalty kick. Be aggressive, but also be patient. North gives up a corner kick. This could be Holy Name's chance to get back in it.
So the neutral in me wants to see a goal here, obviously just to give us a little bit of tension and excitement the last little bit. So ball played in from Holy Name there.
Oh, have mercy. Just enough defending from the North Middle School cadets right there. And it's tough because, yeah, you got to – if you're Holy Name, you got to get players forward right now. Like, you're losing 2-0. Every single one of these players should be in the box, maybe -1.
Yeah, I think you put the keeper at the halfway line and you move all your players into the box and just roll the dice here.
As a I'm in a tough position calling this game because I'm a parent of a North Middle School cadet. I'm also a teacher at North Middle School, but I'm telling you right now, I love seeing the competitive nature from both teams. Like, who do I want to win? When I'm behind this mic, I gotta say I don't care, but I want to see North get back in this game. I mean, not North, but Holy Name rather.
Yeah, and obviously, like, that's the joys of being in this kind of environment is you definitely want to see kids continue to compete. And, like you said, everybody's playing to the last whistle at this point, and Holy Name's still pushing. I mean, there's still a couple more moments in the game with about 7 here to play.
Yeah, and that's the great part is right now I'm seeing Holy Name recognize what they have to do. And we talked about that earlier. It's not always effort. Sometimes it's between the ears. It's that brain to realize I got to push harder than I was before and get that opportunity. Looks like a foul here on the near sideline. It's going to let Holy Name come back forward towards the north goal. But yeah, I love that idea that these kids recognize without coaching that they got to get forward. You know, we got to put some numbers in. We got to put some effort in to try to get this equalizer. But also at the same side, you see it on North. Right now, they got 4 or 5 guys back. They're going to protect this lead right now. They don't need to score again, do they, Coach?
No, and that's what we talk about in the girls' game, right? Like, at this point, there's no need to go get a third goal. Take it to the corner, keep it there, keep it on that end. Once you keep it there, obviously it prevents any kind of opportunity for Holy Name going the other way.
Under 6 to go. You still have the North Cadets leading 2-0 over the Holy Name Cardinals. Good bit of defending. Looks like got out of bounds, and it's a throw-in. Throw-in for the Cadets. Make sure you tune in next Tuesday as the HCHS Lady Colonel volleyball team is going to be live on air right here on the WSON YouTube page. Lincoln Black on the ball. From a player that's been dynamic all year, you can definitely see a little bit of the rust from not being around for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and that's a good save there from the goalkeeper. See if you get a quick punt out. Honestly, it's great too that he's kind of had some really good moments and starting to play his way back into it a little bit. It looks like.
Yeah, he's finally right there. You saw kind of who he can be, and that's why he came. Just kind of going to give a little bit of insight to how tryouts at the high school work at the high school level. Lincoln Black tried out for the high school JV team this year. And those kind of little bit of plays were the ones that made us think, should we keep him or not? And one of the things that we realized was he can play here and play 80 minutes a game. There we go. And we see a little bit of a – Connor, what's his name? Connor Brown.
That North Middle School goal was by Connor Brown.
Yeah, so then we got 3-0 North Cadets with 4 minutes to play. North takes a 3-0 lead over the Holy Name Cardinals on a goal by Connor Brown, assisted by Miles Pryor.
It's kind of tough on Holy Name, too, because obviously they've played hard. So 3-0, if you look at the score by itself, it's it's difficult. They definitely had their moments in the game. And, North kind of, as Holy Name started pushing, I think North's speed up front really caused them some problems as the game wore on. And, obviously a couple of really good finishes from North tonight that have led to some goals. So we did ask for a couple more goals in the second half. They've all been for North. And we've got about 3 minutes to go here. But it looks like North is on their way towards a middle school championship. A shot coming in from Holy Name, and then North will be on the counter if they can find the far side. He's into space. Looks like foul going in for North. So foul on Holy Name, be North ball. You can see this is where you take the moment to take a little bit of time out of the game. And a host of substitutions here for North Middle School.
So as we take a look at the plaque, the traveling plaque amongst the city championships, if the North Cadets hold on, this will be their first ever city championship.
Really?
Yep. Since we started, since athletic director Clay Bolin. He and I had a couple conversations about, like, what's it going to take to start middle school soccer in Henderson, Kentucky. And with a little bit of elbow grease and hard work, it was able to happen. So that's one of those things, like when we stop and we think about like some of the players we've gotten at the high school level that maybe wouldn't have played if they didn't have middle school soccer. Like there's got to be a huge shout out to these athletic directors. And, and one of the first ones, because the ones that were there aren't there now, but definitely Clay Bolin at South Middle School and Coach Rush. Or Mr. Rush. I call him Coach Rush because that's what he always was. I call him Mr. Rush. I need to rephrase that, right? I call him Mr. Rush now, and the other principals for making this a priority to the schools. Holy Name put a ton of pressure on the ball. Oh, what a great collection there by the keeper. Great collection by the keeper just to make sure Aiden Bug hang on to that ball with a minute to go. You can see Holy Name, they want that ball. But this is North Middle School's first ever city championship, while you have Holy Name with not 1, but 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 city championships, and South Middle School with 2. So finally, on the traveling trophy, North Middle School gets to stake their name. And once again, we see a officiating crew that's done a good job, but hadn't had to make a whole lot of foul calls.
No, absolutely. They've done a great job tonight, and it's always nice when we don't have to really talk about the referees. They did a great job because they let the game flow. They let the kids do what they needed to do without making it a major deal. So really good job from them as well.
Yeah, and you see the celebration. You see the celebration from the North Cadets on their first ever city championship. And you got to be proud. And if I'm a Holy Name Cardinal, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm so proud if I have any connection to the Holy Name Cardinals right now. What they did on the field to even be in this game at the beginning of the season. I'm sure they didn't see it coming, but that's players and coaches and everybody putting a game plan together to get them here. So that's so awesome. So here we're going to take a break real quick. We're going to put this mic here with Mr. Rush, principal of South Middle School, to recognize the champions and the players of the championship. And while we're waiting, hats off to our officiating crew. What a fantastic job they did in 2 games. Suffered through the rain, the elements, to do a fantastic job.
We want to thank you for coming out on this rainy night, and what a game. First, we would like to recognize the city championship runner-up team, the Holy Name Cardinals. And now, we want to introduce to you every one of these players. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the first city championship for North Middle School since we started soccer here. What year was it we started in 2014? What's the first year on that? Yeah, he's got that. The first year we started this was in 2014, so this is a great accomplishment for the North Middle School cadets. Let's go through every one of them, and here we go. Number 8, Boone Thompson. Number 50, Aiden Griffin. Number 6, Caden Bogus. Number 44, Connor Murray. Number 49, Jackson Coombs. Number 46, Nicholas Hill. Number 49, Preston Gogol. Number 14, Tyler Payne. Number 48, Walker Trammell. Number 22, Jesse Greenwell. Number 26, Stennett Wiggins. Number 16, Reed Campbell. Number 24, Miles Pryor. Number 38, Miles Google. Number 12, Lincoln Black. Number 10, Jackson Monroe. Number 28, DeAndre Marcellin. Number 35, Connor Brown. Number 34, Camden Shoemaker. And number 40, Aiden Bug. Congratulations again to assistant coach Stephen Shoemaker and head coach Ryan Monroe and the North Middle School Cadets, city champions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rush, for your coverage tonight and celebrating all the players. I think the main thing you take away is you have a principal from another school in our district who's just as excited for all the kids. It's not about your school, my school. It's about Henderson County schools.
Yeah, and ultimately, these are good showcases for the high school itself, and making sure that we continue to get these kids developing and growing. And it's an awesome thing for our school to have this many talented players coming up.
Absolutely.
As they called the game up here on Facebook, on YouTube, and again, we want to
we're really excited.
our Henderson County Colonels and Lady Colonels as they will reach.
And we want to say thank you for tuning in so much. We want to thank you for watching tonight. We want to say one more shout out, huge shout out to our sponsors, Ryan Monroe, Edward Jones, and Shane Bogus State Farm. We want to say a huge shout out to our Henderson County schools and Henderson County High School for putting this on and making sure that the future of Henderson County High School gets seen across the country for people who are able to watch. Thank you so much for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you all back here on Tuesday night as the volleyball team takes on their next postseason opponent.